And we are live. Come on in here. Come on in here. I'm just testing to make sure everything is good. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All my ambitious folks, I just want to welcome you to today's programming. Listen, we are going to be talking about some amazing things that you need to get ready for in 2025 or whenever you should be watching this video. Hey, it's your girl, Sherry Summer Bell. I'm super excited to be here. I promised you that I was going to come in and talk about the TCPA new laws. So if you are in any service-based business and you send out text message, you send out email, whatever you do in this space, you want to be part of the program. Now, here's the thing. I am paying attention to you, so I want to be able to see you. So go ahead and put a 1 in the chat. I'm using my eCam. I want to make sure everything is set for that. So I'm using my eCam. Go ahead and put a 1 in the chat just to make sure that I can see you and you're all good. I love it. Okay. All right. So my eCam is good. I want to make sure that is good. Listen, so I know if you're me, I know that you came in this space. And when you came in this space, the reason for you coming in this space was to do one thing and one thing only. One thing that you came in this space to do was if you have a business, you came in this business so you can impact more lives and you can have a better place for your family. Give me a yes in the chat if that is true. When you decide to start that business, you decided that you wanted to impact more people's life. That was the idea of you starting a business. You did not start a business to where you can be spending hundreds and $1,000s in fines. Come on here, right? I know I didn't. I don't know about you, but I know I didn't start a business to where I want to get fined. And therefore, and I know you didn't, and that's why I'm sharing with you today the TCPA laws, and we're going to kind of go over what that looks like for your family. We're going to go over what does that mean for you, because I wish someone told me this and no one shared this information with me that I'm getting ready to share with you. Like no one at all share it with me. Well, first of all, I didn't even know that there's a law in texting and calling people when I first got into space. When I first got into the business coaching space and the insurance space, I didn't even know there was a law. I knew there's a lot of people that was buying leads, and I knew there's a lot of people that was generating different leads, but we never asked or questioned where those leads was coming from, right? So I just want to take a second. I'm just going to go through here and take a second. Okay, we're good. We're good to go. I just want to make sure that we were on time and we were good to go. All right. So first of all, I want to say this. Imagine like you're sitting at home with your family watching Netflix. I'm a Netflix girl. And we're Netflix girls over here. You're watching Netflix and your phone keep ringing off the hook. And it'll say spam call, right? And you're like, okay, I'm just going to avoid that. Or then you get a text message saying you won something, right? You're like, oh my God, where does these people get my phone number from, right? And so it just constantly happening. And there's I wish there's a way I could fight back the system from getting all these calls, because I don't remember doing this. So from a consumer standpoint, income in what we call the Telephone Consumer Protection Act. That's where the TCPA come from. And it come from the Federal Commission. So we got to understand the FCC, Federal Communication Commission. We got to understand where that is coming from, right? So the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, that was designed to protect consumers from unwanted text message, from unwanted voicemail, from unwanted emails that they did not opt into. That's where that came from. So we had to start from the beginning so we are aware and understand where did that come from? How did we get here? How do we get to this place? So just like you don't want anyone bothering you that you didn't opt into, this is the same way your prospect feel when we send them information that they didn't request for. Now, we also, have you ever received anything from someone calling you saying you fill out this thing when you know you didn't fill it out, right? I remember starting when I was in the insurance space and when I was writing policies, one of the things that annoy me the most is when an upline would tell someone, or I hear them tell someone, yeah, just dial that number and it's okay for you to dial the number. And so you're dialing 100 cold call a day to strangers who have never met you a day in their life. right? Can we talk about unethical, right? So I decided that my business, Sherry Summers Unlimited Services, as a business coach, would be the business. My mission is always to help women who are ambitious women. And whether you're in service-based business or financial business, you have a space where you can do things in ethical and with integrity. If you're new to my space, welcome. It's your girl, Sherry Summer Bell. I specialize in helping women move from selling one to one to selling one to many without sacrificing their family time and making their first six figures or seven figures. So, okay, so let's go. Give me a one in the chat just to make sure you can hear me, just to make sure that we are good to go. I muted my mic, so just give me a one in the chat just to make sure that you can hear me and we're good to go. So that's why we need to talk about it. So now I just explained to you from the consumer side. So now I'm going to go with you and we're going to cover three things today. We're going to cover the critical way to avoid this happening to you, to avoid getting costly lead fines. The second thing we're going to go over is how to stay in compliance with the TCPA regulations. And number three, the practical steps to protect yourself for and grow your business. So those are the three topics that we're going to talk about today, and I'm not going to take up much of your time, but I know this is important and this is something that you need to know. And I'm just going to YouTube to make sure that my volume is good and I can hear myself and we're good to go. Okay, I want to make sure that we're good to go. Okay. All right. Now, I want you to get your pen and paper. I want you to get something out to write with. Okay, good. I'm just making sure. Okay, we're good. I want you to get your pen and paper. I want you to get something out to write with. Because the first thing we're going to talk about is how do we combat that? If Sherry, if that's going on right now, the TCPA, that act goes in regulation January 26th. January 26th. So if you do lead magnets where people are opting in to get their email, to get their text message, if you do any type of business like that, where you're texting people, you're sending out SMS messages. So I want to let you know, if you do anything like that, you send out ads, you send out automation system, this affect your business, whether you're in financial space or not. This affects your business. Okay. I personally know someone has been fined $40,000 for one call. One call. And we don't want that for you at all. And that's where we're here today to make sure. So we are all about helping you generate leads consistently, but want to do it in an ethical and a professional manner. So if I can get you ahead of the game in teaching these laws and how to avoid these laws so you can make more money, impact more lives, and you don't have to worry about these fines, because I take them serious. And so why are we here? Why is that so important? Well, one of the reasons why it's so important, Keller Williams just did I want to make sure my notes is correct because I wrote this notes down to tell you. So Keller Williams literally just settled a $45 million settlement, all because of the TCPA Act. Along with that, Allstate as well had a settlement with that. 45 million. So these bigger brands that are not bigger caliber brands are also getting a fine as well. So this is a big deal. The TCPA is the FFC is getting really serious with the TCPA. So these bigger brands may have the money to cover that, but we don't. Okay. so we need to fix that. Yeah, so the reason why they're doing that now, who is fighting for the consumer? Well, the people who are fighting for the consumer is these big names attorney, because a big name attorney, that they look at it as a paycheck. It's an easy paycheck because it's easy to say, did you get consent or did you not get consent? I want you to understand that. So of course, a big name big name attorney is going to take this case on because they see the money. They see the money. They can fight a Keller Williams. They can fight an Allstate company in getting these fines. So, but you and me, we're going to avoid having to deal with a big name company attorney sending us information because we did not settle. We did not pay attention to these fines. Okay. So this is not just something like, oh, we just sort of shove over our shoulder. This is something that is going on right now that big brands are having to settle big time, $45 million lawsuit settlement because of protecting the consumer when it comes to the communication. When communicating with your consumer, it's important to understand that you do it in a legal and ethical manner. Now, Let's talk about the three critical ways to avoid these costly leads. I told you I'm not going to spend too much time with you. We're going to go right into it. But before we get there, how did this occur? Why is this happening? Well, one of the things you want to realize, we're in a new AI generated system. Right now we're in this AI generated times, and because we're part of this AI movement, you have robot dialing that's also taking place as well. So instead of being a human dialing, there's a robot that is dialing, and that robot call, that dialing call that's coming in, that's so it's not even a human behind there. It's just getting out of control. One person, and I have my notes here, according to Consumer Report, one person could get up to 17 calls a day, spam calls a day. So that's number one. Come on now. If I can hardly deal with 5 spam calls a day, much less 17, right? That's an average person. Another thing that you need to keep in mind too, when it comes to people who sell these lead vendors that sell leads, that one of the things that they do, they start selling these leads, and they started selling them. They take one lead and they sell it 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So that person information is being sold 2, 3 different times. So the one contact is being sold 3, 4 different people, especially in the financial space. So that is their way of fighting back from the robot calls, people's information being sold several times with these third-party vendors. So the way the TCPA fight back is starting at a minimum of $500 fine, a minimum. That's how they're fighting back, because they just got to the point where they're tired of it. And your business don't have to be a big brand for them to go after you if it's not done well and properly. And again, because they have a big attorney around their name, they can do that. They can do that. But guess what? The good news is we're to help you change that. So with the robot dialing, with the third party lead vendors selling these leads 2, 3 times to 2, 3 different people, right? And then the third thing of what's also causing it is sometimes you get on the internet and you see something like a vacation spa, you get ready to travel somewhere, and you have a survey that they ask you to fill out. So the consumer fill out the survey thinking that they're filling out a survey to win a prize, thinking they're going to fill out the survey to do something amazing, and then only to find out that that survey that they filled out was not for that survey. It was also for getting a life insurance, interested in getting a life insurance policy. Can we talk about character for a minute, right? So here you are thinking you're filling out a vacation thing, and then it comes back, oh, do you need insurance? So the way they capture the consumer information was also in the wrong manner. So when the insurance agent or a real estate agent or tax professional, whoever is calling that person, they're calling because they bought these leads. They had no idea what the leads was about, right? They had no idea. So one bad apple spoiled a whole bunch. So you see where the frustration comes in and why they want to kick back so much. You see where and the thing is that it didn't have to be this way. It's just a few apples make it bad for everybody else in the entire industry. So there's not like just a law for financial professionals. There's a law for everyone. If you send SMS message, if you do text message, if you do emails, all of that is applying to you for the TCPA, okay? And I know each states have their own rules and that govern that state as well. So, all right, so let's get into the critical way to avoid these costly fines. Number one, to avoid these costly fines. Number one, you want to make sure, and I wrote these down, you need to make sure that whenever you're sending out a text message or an email, if it's on your website, let's start with that. Your website designer, your website provider, make sure that you have on your page a check box giving you authority. Now, let me tell you, the new rule is they would like for it to be written. So here's what I mean by written. instead of just being a technology of you checking a box, they like for it now to be written for text and written for email. That's the change. Because before, you could have just a text box. Hey, are you consulting? Are you consenting for us to send you text message and email? And they just check a box and it'll be done with. But now they're looking for written. Okay. So one of the ways you can do that too is you can send out an email to your email list and be like, listen, hey, I just want to make sure that I'm giving you value at all times. And if I'm giving you value at all times, I want to make sure you are consenting to being on my email list by replying yes to staying on my email list. That's written, right? Because you have that data, you have that email, you have that proof that you can do that as well. That's number one. Another way too is also having that box that usually say, hey, do you consent to text or do you consent to email? Have two boxes instead of one. That's number two. Make sure you're writing these things down. So if you look on the website, usually the website has a checkbox that says, hey, are you consenting to us sending you the information? And if it's a yes, you say yes. And if it's a no, it's a no. So you want to be able to make sure you have that consent as well. Also, you need to have along with them consenting to stay in your email, they also need to be able to consent to stay out to come out of your email. So you need to have an output on your email. So whenever you send out an email, at the bottom they should have unsubscribe everywhere. They can opt out of it. Right? They can opt every email that you send to your email list. They can unsubscribe. Give them the freedom to have a stop text message or stop email. Let me stay right there for a second, because one of the things that I like to do when a person opts out of my email, I just delete them. I just delete them. Now, somebody will say, Sherry, well, if they just opt out of texting, they didn't opt out of email, I don't care. I just delete them. If they like my content again, they will come back in the sequence again. So I just go ahead and I just delete them. To be on the safe side, I just go ahead and just delete them from my email list. If they want to come back in again, so be it. But I just go ahead and I delete them off my email. Before I go any further, if you're liking this information, go ahead and make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you can know when I go live here on YouTube to bring you these great gems. So again, you want to also make sure that you're practicing good work ethics to grow your business. So you want to talk with your website designer to see if they have a cyber TCPA policy. So whatever your CRM or the person who's designing your website, see if they have a proper TCPA policy to where they can apply to your website as well. You want to make another thing that I also just came to mind as soon as I said that. You want to make sure at the end of your email, you may have, these little disclaimers. You can have the disclaimer at the bottom too as well. But the whole goal is, if you should ever get called to go to court, you need to be able to have evidence. And I mean evidence that this person opted in and gave full permission and consent for you to send them the message, send them the emails that you send them, and send them the text message that you send them. So you need to be able to go full force and prove. And one thing with my CRM that I have, and I'll drop it below too in the description. One thing I love about my CRM, it can trace where the person came in, when they start coming to my email list, and I can trace any link that any link that they clicked on. And I love that. And so make sure your CRM tell a story. What is a CRM? It's a customer relationship manager. That is where you house your emails. That's where you host all your contact lists. So you want to see if that CRM has some compliance with the TCPA laws as well. So it's not enough to just create a lead magnet, get them to get their email and telephone number and name. You also need to get a box where they check for text, a box where they check for email as well, because they're opting in for two different things. One of the things is people will say, can you opt in for email? And then they send out text. So you have to make sure those two boxes stay in compliance. And when we got the information, I got with my team and we are working on that ASAP. So do not think that this is something that you can just do. You can avoid it. I'd rather be safe. My mom would say, be safe than be sorry. All right. Another thing, the third thing is, which is one of my favorite thing. I'm going to spend some time here because this is one of my favorite thing to do to combat this, to avoid this. My third thing, along with having to check boxes, along with having reply written consent, along with all of the things that I just say, making sure you check your website designer, whoever designed your website, and making sure your CRM is in compliance with the TCPA laws. One the third thing, and I think it's one of the best thing to do, and I get excited and hyped for this one, is create something that I preach on, something that I do every day. Make sure you're creating what I call attraction marketing. So, what is attraction marketing? Attraction marketing is where the prospect is reaching out to you versus you reaching out to them. And having attraction marketing, you put it on the prospect to say, yes, they want to work with you. Yes, they want you to help solve their problems. Because when you just create attraction marketing, the power behind attraction marketing is like this. Then you're not in any this, you don't have to deal with any disclaimer because they're reaching out to you. They're calling you. The calls are more than likely coming inbound. So you're putting on them to book a call. And when they book the call, then you have evidence that they're reaching out to me. They're the one that say that I can talk with them. But even on your calendar, I would still have another page or something that said, hey, you're giving us right for us to reply back to you, and so on and so forth. But attraction marketing is so powerful because it takes the heaviness of these fines off of you, that you're not dealing with lead vendors, you're not dealing with expensive leads. You're learning how to create your message, create your marketing, and create a message that attract your target high value ultra target audience that's ready to work with you because they are reaching out to you based on how you show up, based on your content. I from day one, I have never ventured because I truly believe attraction marketing gets you out of these fines. Attraction marketing. Here's why attraction marketing is so powerful. And side note, I teach attraction marketing in my virtual selling 7-figure challenge, and I dropped the link here so you guys can get it as well. Here's why attraction marketing is so powerful. Attraction marketing, when you market that you solve this problem, people are reaching out to you. People are asking, hey, you say you solved this problem. I want to know more about this. Can I schedule a call with you? Can I come to your event? Can I come to something that you're hosting to find out more about it? Because when you're creating that attraction marketing, people want to know, hey, you say you solved this. I want to reach out to you versus you reaching out to them. And with the other way, which is sometimes I hear people say they buy leads and all this stuff. The issue with that is you don't know where the lead vendor get their lead from. I'm looking here because you guys are dropping text. I love y'all. Thank y'all. If this is good, give me a high five in the chat. If this is really good, give me a high five in the chat. I want to make sure that I'm speaking towards your business. So when you're doing attraction marketing, the fact that you're giving them the power to reach out to you versus you reaching out to them, it keeps you out of leads jail. It keeps you out of leads jail. And that's what you want to do because the person is showing interest. When you buy that lead from a lead vendor, you don't know how they obtained that lead. You don't know what they did to obtain that lead. So it's so important that you be careful. And one of the way you can do that is to avoid it by avoiding it, using attraction marketing. Attraction marketing, when I say it's powerful, it is so powerful. Okay. So now, another way, so we talk about attraction market. Another one of my favorite, and I mean of my favorite way, is for you to be able to also have the power to showcase your expertise. And I just dropped inside the chat, I literally just dropped my event that I have coming up that teach you exactly how to do attraction marketing. And one of my favorite way to avoid all these fees, to avoid feeling like, am I in compliance? Am I not in compliance? Another way to do that is learning how to sell one to many. learning how to showcase your expertise to your target market, to your target audience, right? So, how do you do that? When you have the power to showcase your expertise and talking to many people all at once based on the expertise that you say that you do. This is so powerful because, again, you're empowering them to reach out to you versus you buying leads to strangers, or versus you, are they opting into things that they say they did not want. I've been a full-time business coach for since 2018, and I have had in that 2018, when it comes to fines or chargebacks, well, in my business coaching, we had a lady, she was trying to charge back a $97 product that she bought, $97. And thank God we had all the receipt. Now, I have heard business coach be like, girl, $97. Let me tell you about how much they tried to charge back before. But thank God we had all the receipts of her opting in, of her getting the product, of her opening the product. And guess what? We won that $97. We won it. But guess what? How did we have that? Because we do attraction marketing. We do sell one to many. So we had all the history that we could show Stripe that, listen, queen, you don't have to try again. Right? So, and why? Because we had those check marks and we had those check boxes in place. Let me tell you, if people can see a money way out, they will take it. So you the producer of your business, you the expert, you the ambitious woman or man who's tuning in right now, you have to protect your business by all means. And thank God we were able to protect our business because we did what we call attraction marketing. If you want to learn how to literally virtually sell your business with confidence, knowing that you're one, in compliance, and two, get people to come to your event, make sure that you click the link in the chat for our virtual selling 7-figure challenge. We're going to have that challenge coming up. It's a 5-day challenge going over how you do this, going over how you allow people to come to you versus you coming to them. And the reason why this was founded is because I was tired of watching women, especially in the insurance space, spend so much money on expensive lead and didn't know how people obtain the lead, and a lead that was bought 10,000 times, right, by different people, A lead, B lead, and all this stuff they're calling it, and their hard-earned credit, just running up credit cards with leads, and because they did not know how to use their gift. What is your gift? Your voice that God has given you to speak to the people that you're called to help. And so I decided I'm going to be a disruptor. I'm going to be a disruptor in this space and start teaching people how to virtually sell their expertise so they don't have to be in situations like this. They don't have to spend their money on lead vendors who are having unethical practice. Because let me be clear, even if the vendor gave you that lead, it's up to you to make sure it's in compliance. How do you do that? You have to go on the website and check to see if that person is part of a DND, which is do not disturb. If they turn on do not disturb or do not call list, there are also different call lists. You have to check to make sure that person is on there before you dial that number. It is your responsibility. It is also your responsibility that someone may opt in for your lead magnet and then decided, hey, I don't want this anymore, I'm going to opt out. And then you send out an email and you send it back to the person who said that they opt out. So we make it our business to go through our emails consistently to make sure we view who has opted out of our email system. We make it a business for us to do that. Right? So now one of the things, how to stay in compliance, I think I kind of went over that. Staying in compliance again is making sure that you get in with your website designer, asking them, do they have a TCPA policy compliance? Another way that you're able to do that is, we talk about this already, have somewhere where they can opt out of your email. Now, I know some of you are saying, Sherry, I just paid all this ads. I paid for ads, got this person on my list, and now you're telling me that if they opt out, I need to delete them. I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm telling you that I'm paying a $40,000 or $100,000 fine. Okay, But I have always doing that because my mindset is I don't want to be paying for anybody that don't want to hear from me on my email list. So if you're not opening my email, this especially in January, especially in 2025, this is a great time for you to really go and refresh those emails. For you to really go and get some eyes on your emails and say, "Hey, this person hasn't opened up any of my emails in a while." Send them an email to ask them, "Hey, you haven't opened my emails in a while. Is everything good? Is everything okay? Or should I take you off my email list right now?" Because based on how many people you have in your email list, the more people you get on your email list, the more you have to pay for that email server. So, hey, I don't want to pay for people that's not ready for what I'm giving them right now. You right? I mean, do you? All right. So, but again, one of the ways you're able to do this again is learning the power of selling virtually. Virtually selling. A part of virtually selling is learning how to stay in compliance. And I want to share with you, I want to invite you to our virtual selling 7-figure challenge. In that challenge, we go over how to sell with confidence, how to automate your business to make sure your business stay in compliance with all the laws that are taking place, and more importantly, have people showing up to you versus you have to chase them. When you I'm reading this book by TD Jakes, and TD Jakes talk about when you position your message properly to the right people, you do not have to even market. You do not have to be chasing people. And what he mean by that, if you have the cure of cancer, people are going to come find you. People are going to find you. They're going to come find you because they need help. And that's the way you got to think about your business as well. Once you tell people you have the cure to cancer, your doors will be knocking down. And that's where you got to think about your business. Your cancer, that cure for cancer that you have, may be the cure to put people health better health situation, help people with their finances, help put marriages back together. Your cure to cancer may look different, but it's just as important to get a whole peace of mind. So make sure you click the link to join our virtual selling challenge that we have coming up. And make sure, again, remember, not trying to scare you, but now that you got this information, go back and check to see if your business is actually in compliance. Listen, that's all I got for you today. I'm super excited that you came to join us, and I cannot wait to see you on our virtual selling 7-figure challenge, and to make sure that remember to get written consent, and to make sure that you have your text message and your email consent ready to go. If you need to know more from me, go ahead and hit the subscription button and the notification so you can be notified every time I go live on YouTube. It's your girl, Sherry Somerville. Talk to you later.